Another big story this week, and going to high school basketball. Tuesday night, Lennis McFerrin was named the new Kennett boys basketball coach for this upcoming year by the school board, and it's quite the shockwaves in the boot heel as Kennett has hired Lennis McFerrin to head up the Kennett Indians basketball program. And Lennis McFerrin's been out of the loop here in southeast Missouri for quite some time. He has spent quite a few years down in Tennessee, I believe in Henry County, Tennessee, and Paris, Tennessee, as an administrator down there in Tennessee. So he's been out of the loop here in southeast Missouri for quite a few years. And I guess he's returning home here to southeast Missouri and probably looking for something to do. I can say that. McFerrin was my old coach, so I can have a little fun with him there. But he probably looks. It seems like he's in very good health. It looks like he's really still interested in the game, getting back on the sideline and getting back into basketball. He's been out of it for quite a few years. His last year coaching was 2006, but that was after about a 4-year layoff, as he last coached in 2001 for New Madrid County Central. He won 2 straight state titles, 2000, 2001 with New Madrid, then retired, stepped away from the game, and then he's remained as an administrator there with New Madrid, and then came back in 2006 for 1 year, and that was his only losing season he ever had there in 2006, as they struggled that year. But stepped away, went to administration down in Tennessee, or over in Tennessee, rather, and coming back to the mix here in 2016. So it's been 10 years since he's been on a sideline, and it's going to be a familiar face, but not here of recent. I know some people out there, who's this Lennis McFerrin? You might be thinking, but had a stellar career, really made his name there in Charleston, 7 state championships with the Charleston Blue Jays, going back from, I believe, the late 70s through the early 90s. Went to New Madrid and got 2 more state titles in 2000 and 2001 to round it out to an even 9 state championships. And coming back to southeast Missouri with the Kennett Indians. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a team to look out for. Kennett's lost a lot from this last year. A really senior-laden bunch were the Indians this past year. So going to be a younger group coming in, more inexperienced group. But that's one thing you can expect from a Lennis McFerrin team, a very aggressive team, especially on the defensive end. Create those turnovers into easy baskets, which, Kennett's kind of played that kind of game anyways with Jim Vaughn. Jim Vaughn really stressed the defense, and Kennett's been one of the more aggressive defensive teams in the area, so you probably won't see a whole lot of difference comes to their style of play, but maybe a little different offensively probably. McFerrin's more an up-paced tempo, but ball control, and not really a perimeter-oriented offense that McFerrin runs, whereas Jim Vaughn, a lot of their offense came from the perimeter, so that's probably the biggest difference you'll see in their offenses, where McFerrin really likes to penetrate, aggressive to the basket, dump it down to the big guys, and a good shot selection. Really pretty conservative offense, really ball control oriented offense, and Jim Vaughn was more spread it out, get the shooters open, looking for those 3-point shots. So that's probably the only thing you'll see different in their style of play. But defensively, both these kids are probably used to Vaughn really emphasizing the defense. So should be a good transition for those players with Lennis McFerrin coming back to southeast Missouri with the Kennett Indians. It's just hard to grasp still that Lennis McFerrin's been gone for a while. He hasn't been around. He's been over in Tennessee, and you just don't hear anything of him because he's just not around. And then all of a sudden, he's just thrown back into the news as a head coach in high school basketball. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out going forward next year. And Kennett's moving down in class from Class 4, District 1. Very competitive there with Cape Central, Sykeston, Notre Dame. Very tough district coming back down to Class 3, District 1. They'll likely be in there with Crothersville, New Madrid, Malden, probably right there in that district. You might see one of those teams kick out and go to another district possibly, but it's going to be fun to see how these Kennett Indians do. They're going to be back. I believe they're going to be back in the Boot Hill Conference as well. I think I may have come across that, they'll be out of the SEMO Conference and into the Boot Hill Conference. So if that is the case, you're going to see Kennett back in there with Hayti, Malden, South Pemiscot, Caruthersville. Caruthersville had a really good team, and they're going to bring back much of that team next year. So you'll see Kennett and Caruthersville right there in the Boot Hill Conference, and also probably in the district as well. But you throw South Pemiscot, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with there in the Boot Hill Conference as well. And Hayti is really bringing back a strong group. So that Boot Hill Conference, if in fact Kennett's moving back to the Boot Hill Conference, is going to be very competitive next year, and that district will be very competitive as well there in Class 3, District 1, which it always is. It's always probably one of the more competitive districts in the state of Missouri. So big news, Lennis McFerrin coming back to Southeast Missouri, and he's going to get a lot of attention. The Canadian's going to get a lot of attention just with him being on the sidelines. So we'll see how it plays out. I can remember talking to McFerrin back in 2006 when he came back that one year, and he said he was pretty rusty after just being off 4 years. So I'm sure he's anxious to get back on the sidelines and get back into the game, and been out of it for 10 years, so he's probably getting that itch. And he's only going to be in a coaching capacity. He's not going to be a member of the faculty there at Kennett, so he'll have plenty of time to concentrate on the basketball. So we'll see how it goes with the Kennett Indians and their basketball program going forward.